All right. What's up? We're back. Let's get this guy going. Beautiful. All right, we're just going to continue. We're just going to keep drawing, trying to get better. We'll probably do some sort of normal tutorial a little bit later on in the stream, but just to get warmed up and get ready, I want to continue drawing these profile shots that I've been ripping. Basically, we've been trying desperately to get some sort of realistic profile shot. Yo. Oh, thank you, Crow. Thanks for keeping me waiting. Um, Basically, we've been slowly practicing, slowly getting better at these profile shots. And now we're at the point of slowly getting more and more realistic. So I'm thinking I'm going to draw one more side profile shot here, and then we'll probably move into something else. Basically whatever the hell we want. You could even pick Crow if you want. So, how you doing, Crow? We are just going to start. Actually, you know what? This is what we're going to do. Instead of starting with a circle, I'm going to start with a box. Because I just hit a lick in the box. And basically what this is going to do is this is going to set up all of my proportions at least fairly correctly. I would humbly request for you to draw a crow. Very well. I can do that. Here, up here, I'll write crow. And that'll be a good reminder. So, starting with a box, this box is basically going to give us all of the dimensions and all of the sort of necessary things we need to draw this face. But if you're looking at it, we did the same box method with this head, and it's very bulbous. It's like a bowling ball. Like no one's forehead is that sloped. And the back of this, I was waiting for you to start streaming. That's incredible. I'm glad that I actually got on. You would have been waiting forever. We see that this head is so bulbous and so round, and that's not really what people look like. I'm sure some of them do. Crow, I bet you have a bulbous head, but what I've been realizing is that slowly over doing all of these methods, that the forehead, first off, is a lot more straight than that super curvy drawing, right? So this method is kind of debunked at this point. The nose is a lot smaller when you're drawing a person, when you're looking at somebody. It's only about like maybe a third of the face if you're really bald. No, not bald. I mean bulbous, like a ball, like a bouncy ball, or like a dodgeball, like a big rubber dodgeball that you could slap on the top. You know what I mean? Um, but this isn't really how people look like. This is maybe how cartoons look like, sure. But if you're trying to draw realistic people, that forehead is going to end up being a lot more straight edge, if that makes sense. So, basically, instead of constantly doing that big curve, which ends up being sort of like a Nike swoosh, you can see right there, we're actually going to start with more of like a cliff face, right? And then right above that center line that we made earlier with this box, we're going to cut in, and that's going to be about our brow bone. So we can just lay in a little indication of that. So keeping the forehead basically like a big rock wall, right? And then cutting in for that eyebrow. And then we're going to be shooting out from this into the nose. And this angle that we have in between this eyebrow and this nose bone really sort of depends on your character or whoever you're drawing, if you're using a reference or whatever. Really study this shape that ends up showing off in this spot, because it really gives all of your characters or your drawings the personality. Having like a really solid nose and having like that eyebrow convey a bunch of emotion is really sort of the route to success to getting into um, getting any sort of OC or original character, right? So I'm going to keep this nose pretty sharp. Of course, we're going to be refining and slowly fixing all of these parts, but understanding all of these shapes in this beginning phase is going to help the inking process when we actually like lay out some of these details that make this drawing solid, right? So, for anyone joining, for all of you, oh my god, 3 whole people, now down to 2, what a world. We're starting with a box, and we're slowly using half points everywhere to get us to sort of a realistic head shape. I'm using very light lines. I'm using the side of my pencil. I also, you like that one, Crow? I also realized as I've been learning all of these little methods, the lips and the forehead don't actually line up all the time. A lot of people, a lot of like actual humans, their lips and jaws and everything jut out a little bit farther than the forehead does, or the forehead meets the nose. 3 breathing humans watching in TikTok? Yeah. Yeah, and they're wet. They're soaking, they are sopping wet right now watching this drawing tutorial. They immediately all left when I said that. um, so basically, what I've been learning, or what I've been trying to do, you're gonna like this, Crow, is I've been trying to move the mouth and the jaw and everything just a little bit forward, so it's not so lined up, right? And then we're going to keep that top lip pretty simple, just sort of making a shelf with it. And then I'm going to add like an indication for a mouth. What's your max viewer count though? On TikTok, it's been up to like 80, 60 to 80 somewhere. It fluctuates. Like when it gets going hot, it's crazy hot, but I feel like I average probably like 12. With this top lip, we're keeping it very, very simple because we're going to come back in. As you can see with these few drawings, the lips are basically all just value. That's something that took me a long, long time to learn, is you're never actually drawing the top lines and the bottom lines of a lip. You're just like shading things in, right? So with this one, with this bottom lip, we're just going to start with like a sketch of that downward angle you can kind of see here, and then that's going to turn into just a little gray fleck on this drawing, and then that lip can sort of cut back in to the body, or to the full head, and then we can start our jaw. And basically we're just slowly trying to get these shapes out the door. A lot of times when you're drawing these faces, what really stinks and what really sucks is that all of the face detail is essentially like in between these 2 pencils. Like it is just this sliver of the head, but guess what? There's like this much head we have to draw, which is really frustrating, and it gets to me every single time that like this is the only part that matters, and then there's also maybe 4 times the stuff that you need to draw, or 4 times the space that you need to draw with this head. So it's like it can get very, very frustrating. So having sort of all of these proportions correct in the beginning will usually help solidify some of those drawings. So already I'm noticing that the nose is a little bit too small, or what could be is the mouth and the chin are too big. Crow, what do you think? I'm thinking the chin and the mouth are way too big on this guy. So, because we're drawing super light and we're focusing on all of the super simple shapes first, what we're going to do, what's up everybody? What we're going to do is we're going to take this top lip and make it just a little bit shorter, still keeping in that same rhythm of just keeping everything super simple. We're going to jut out with that bottom lip. We're going to keep that a little bit smaller than what it usually is. And then we can slowly get that chin back. And for some reason, because I made it a little bit smaller, it looks slightly more correct, which is a very interesting lesson we just learned. Wait, what the hell? Wait, Crow, are you serious? Are you seeing this right now? Did we just fix a drawing? I was going to suggest for you to upload long format content, but never mind, because there would be a lot of peeps for you to talk instead of me. Well, it'd be great. I'm down for whatever. Any suggestion you have, Crow, honestly, I'm down to try. Because guess what? I don't give a fuck. I don't care about anything in this fucking world. Oh, Crow, you missed it. Yesterday, I was streaming. I did like a quick 40-minute, and Galaxy was in here. Oh my god, I was getting policed to hell. I couldn't say anything. We were also talking a lot about you. A lot of really bad things. Okay, so now, as you can see, I've just sort of been free-flowing. W method. Oh, thank you, Marcus. Wow. Whoa, wait a second. Marcus, wait, what the hell? Wait, really? A W? What the hell? Basically what we're doing, give Bill bigger eyelashes, please. Bill? Which one's Bill? Oh, of course, Bill. I thought you were talking about Bill Clinton with my Epstein list up here. Anyways, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to fix this method that I've started to learn of getting profile shots very symmetrical and very solid. And we're trying to make them look a lot more realistic. So we've gotten a little close with this one. We've gotten maybe a little bit close with this one. And we're slowly trying to get all of these to be much, much cooler. I'm going to add in some longer eyebrows on Bill. And then we're going to get back to it. Oh really? What did you say about me, or you in that case? Everyone was just waiting for you. You flaked on us. Basically, you ruined the night. Basically what had happened is everyone was crying for an hour, and I had to mend all the pieces because you wouldn't show up. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do is from this square, from this nose, from these lips, and from this chin, I'm going to slowly etch in the size of the head that I think is correct. And something that's really stressful and really annoying about drawing heads is that, like I was saying earlier, between here is all of your face details. Like you only have, oh, what's up, Peyton? I've been consistently drawing my whole life. I'm 20, so I'm just being nosy. Dude, you should be. You should nose it up. What's really annoying and frustrating about drawing is all of the detail that makes your face drawing look solid is within this sliver. And if that's a finger length, right? 1, 2, 3, almost 4 extra fingers of just dead space that you have to match correctly and get like a solid shape for, because if I draw like a pinhead or if I draw a super thin noodle head, everyone calls me an idiot. And I'm not an idiot. But if you can slowly sort of etch out in very light pencil, by the way, because if you do this in dark pencil, you're pretty much boned. Very light pencil, just getting that shape down. And then what I want you to do is take some steps back and look and see, is this head like a solid shape, or is this head veering on pinhead noodle head, right? Your tummy hurts, Crow? Oh no. Oh, that was last night, of course. By the way, why does Baldman have 4 ears? Baldman has 4 ears because this one was drawn preemptively without any thinking, and then I realized that it was weird and we had to move it back. And everyone on that stream called me a big fat fucking idiot. Depends on who you ask. Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's all I've been saying. Like for the chin, oh Marcus, you got some heat, you're saying? I like how you use lines to allude to the shape you're getting. Like for the chin. Oh yes, thank you very much. Those are just exploratory lines. That's just me kind of messing up 3 to 7 times in a row And then within those 3 to 7 mess ups, I have the one that's actually probably going to give me a final product. Oh, what's up, Poochie? Um, Poochie Ming, we've been waiting. It's just been Crow and I and the TikTok people, and they're starting to really beat up on me. So basically, this shape of the head looks fine. It's nothing special, it's nothing super cool, but it looks fairly accurate. Another strange thing when you're drawing this head and when you, well, that's not nice. Dude, that's what I'm saying. That is all I've been saying the whole time. Um, when you're doing this method and you have this sort of square setup and you're doing all of the circles and you're doing all of the little methods and everything like that, and it's all working for you, when you're drawing the head, you have this beautiful circle, but you have to remember that there's a whole extra box, basically, that contains the hair on top of, like if this is the head that you're drawing, this big circle, like you can't include the hair in that because the hair sits on top of the head. There's volume to it. It sticks out, right? So when I have this skull or when I have this head that's slowly becoming more and more permanent for this drawing, I have to remember that the hair is actually going to be all above this, or like at least maybe a finger length above this. So you can't count it out. You can't just use this method to get your shape because at the end of the day there are going to be shapes on top of your shapes. Which, hey, guess what? We all think sucks. But that's just how drawing is sometimes. Okay, so for this eye, if you see right here, this little first notch, it correlates and it matches up. It's parallel to this first eyebrow notch that I drew. That is a hot fact. Watch it till TikTok people. Thanks, Pushy. Yeah, what you been up to? You can see this eyebrow line, this same one that sets up the other eyes, or the eye that we're drawing at this perspective. That line matches. So you can start with just a quick eyebrow hit. We know it's going to work because it matches up with that eyebrow bone. We can then just put in a little indication for a pupil, wherever you think so, wherever you want it. And then basically we just finish with a little bit of a line to show the underside of the eyelid. And you can give a little extra detail and you can give a little fold line around it just to make it look more realistic. And then all of a sudden, like that eye looks very accurate. The way you explain yourself is very well spoken. Oh, thank you, Marcus. That's very kind of you. So basically, now that that eye is there, suddenly this face actually looks at least a little bit normal. 1 second. Just in my head past couple of days, you're thinking about your ex? Oh, Poochie, I'm sorry. When did you guys break up? Back to the drawing. So once we have I'm so sorry. I did not mean for that to be such a quick cut. Wow, back to the drawing. That was just, I was so in my head on that one. I'm sorry, Poochie. But we do have to get back to the drawing. I'm sorry, Poochie. 9 months ago? Oh, okay. So it's not like you're on the up. You're climbing up. You're trying to heal. You're doing everything right. It's not like made my day. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not like it happened last night and you're like reeling and falling out, but damn, that really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Couldn't even type it out. But now that we have this eye drawing, we can take another step back and we can say, that's kind of crazy, LMAO. I know, Marcus, I didn't even think that. I should have. We can take a step back and gut check ourselves. Like, is this nose a little bit too long? Is this mouth and chin a little bit too stretched out? Too big? Too whatever? Wait, I just realized your name is Nathaniel B, like the meme. Marcus, easy. Okay? We don't need everybody saying Nathaniel B in this chat, okay? We can just be nice. But yes, you're right. It is. And I get bullied constantly. I'm still really unhappy with that chin we drew. So what we're going to do is go back to the drawing board a little bit. Now that this eye is sort of our new anchor, I'm thinking maybe we clean up this nose a little bit so we can give it sort of a shape like this. And then we can make that top lip a little bit smaller, not too much, just a little bit. And we'll keep that mouth about the same length. Another fun fact, if you're drawing faces on profile, LMAO, is that a problem here? Is sometimes it gets to be a problem, and we'll just say that. We can just be nice. When you're drawing mouths from the profile, mouths should never extend past the eye, right? Past the pupil is about the full extent of your mouth. Like even, unless your character is straining their face and muscles and you're drawing a bunch of wrinkles up on the cheek, the mouth should never go past that pupil. And the same thing for if you're drawing faces head on. This is a sweet hot tip. The mouth ends will also never go past the pupils. And you can see that if you look in the mirror, if you go into, wherever, or if you take out your phone and you check the camera, you'll see that your lips, like the actual ends, the full creases, don't extend past the colors of your eyes, which is a crazy fun fact because a lot of times I would draw mouths too big, or I would draw noses too big, or all of these things. Oh man, sorry man, not like a dead deer. Deer I found in the woods had a little mold. Oh, nothing serious, it didn't taste that bad. Oh, crow, that's why you're having tummy problems, because you ate dead deer. Of course. But that sort of sets you up for success when you're trying to draw the end of a mouth. And now what we're going to do, because if we remember, this was where the chin was, right? And we thought that was a little bit too big. So I'm going to try and get it to land just a little bit shorter. So maybe like here-ish, right? So we'll draw just a rough cut of where we think it is, and we're going to take a step back and look at that. That looks pretty solid. So I'm going to keep that line right there. And then we can have this jut back out into chin. And then this chin is going to end up curving into the neck. So I'll just start that line now. And then basically jawline is just like an extra line on top of this drawing. A lot of people will draw heads and they draw a really hard cut line for the jawline. But then that makes basically your whole drawing look strange and off, and it disjoints and it disconnects the head and the face from the neck. What you want to do is when you're finishing that chin, you just want it to swoop down into the neck, just pretty much almost as quickly as possible, and then we can do just a little slight detail to show that that jaw exists and that jaw has a little bit of shadow and value and everything like that. So as we're getting pretty comfortable with this chin, I'm going to go just straight down to the neck like that. And then this jawline is probably going to end up about right there. And with that, we basically have a rough cut of where that ear is going to be. And remember, if you were here yesterday when we messed up the foreear, we had to just move it to the side. And now that looks like garbage. But with this one, starting with a little bit of chin definition and then drawing that circle, we get a pretty rough cut of where the ear is actually supposed to lay on this character. So you can draw just a very rough shape of an ear that connects to that jawline and lines up with that eye, and you should have a size appropriate ear. Marcus, what are you screaming about? Can you make the nose round at the tip? Oh, I can do that. Don't you worry. We'll just round that off a little bit, and guess what? Once we actually go into some of our pen and ink, we're going to see that really pop. Okay, so speaking of the nose, we can come back, and we have to draw the side of the nostril. Now, well, let me chat Poochie and Crow. You guys are going crazy. Yeah, he ate it. He really did. Anyway, let's stop talking about me. Sounded better in my head. Yeah. It sounded weird. Nah, it's cool. Exactly. See? We're all lovers here. If you want to eat dead animals, go for it. I'm not going to say shit. Okay. Back to the nose. Nostrils, if you're looking up someone's nose. Okay, this is probably, not screaming, I'm understanding. Oh, like an ah. I understand that. If you look directly up someone's nose, trying to find boogers, the nostrils are circular. They're like little straws that stick from your sinus and brain straight out of your head, right? But if you turn those to the side, all of a sudden, instead of looking at direct circle, you're looking at just a sort of strange oval. You're looking at just a clipping of that circle, right? So, as you can see in this drawing and this drawing, we're only getting that slight edge of what the nostril is going to be. So, guess what? Ring-a-ding-a-ling. We're drawing basically a half circle, or a little bit smaller than a half circle. And this will also change as whoever you're drawing. Everybody has different nostrils. Everyone has different sort of setups. So it's always going to be just a little bit different, but we can rip basically a half circle, and then it should be fine from there. For most people, if you're just drawing very generic people, just start with a half circle and see what happens. Peyton, are you back in here? You crazy ass. Okay. Nah, I'm cool. You seem chill. Bros before girls or guys are done. Poochie, that's very inclusive of you. I'm very glad that you added all those. Oh yeah, I forgot. Crow is horribly not inclusive. Historically not inclusive. Basically, now we have the eye set up. We have the nose set up. This nostril, all of these little lines around that sort of side cut hole, sometimes you can draw them in ink, like for this one, but it looks a little bit strange, right? Sometimes you don't draw them, like in this one, and it looks, I don't know, fine. We're going to try a new method in this one where we're going to draw a very light line on top and then a thick line right here, and see if that sort of difference in value gets us to our goal of this piece, right? But if you're looking and if you're thinking, which I usually do not, there's one key piece missing of this head and face, and it's the eyebrow. Whoa. So basically, eyebrows, a lot of times, actually, this is something that I'm working on and something that I'm trying to fix about my drawing method. But when you're facing directly at camera, if you are looking directly in the mirror, your head has a tendency to tilt forward just slightly. And that forward tilt takes away the space between your eyebrow and the top of your eye, right? It's a very interesting thing to think about, and something that you really don't unless you are drawing every single day. But because of that, all of my drawings in the past, except for this guy's beautiful, that's fine. All of the faces and the drawings in the past leave a ton of space from the eye to the eyebrow, and that always makes it look strange and sort of LMAO is beautiful, thank you very much. It always looks like off. There's something uncanny about drawing that way. So what you have to remember is when someone's looking directly at you, or directly at camera, we can call it, that space between eyebrow and eyelid shrinks, because you can't actually see the full ridge because it's 3D. The eyebrow is closer to you than the eye is, right? So the same thing happens with these profile shots. When you're drawing, it's really easy to draw like your full eyebrow way up here and then like cut down, but then you look like, you know, everyone you ever draw is going to be super surprised, and that's not a chill thing to have. So something to remember is this little eyebrow lid that we drew earlier, the one that's parallel with this eyebrow bone. Right? You see that? You see how the lines are the same angle? That basically connects to the eyebrow. There's a little space in between them, But that's sort of your indicator on where to start that eyebrow. And because we're looking at this sideways, that eyebrow is going to reach up just a little bit and then thin out and cut down near the other side of the eye. And if you're ever looking at yourself in the mirror again, trying to learn how to draw a face, oh, thanks for the follow. You'll notice that your eyebrows extend maybe a finger length past the end of your eye. But if you're looking at the side of your head, guess what? Perspective matters, big dumb idiot. And if you have one long thing here, but you turn it sideways, it becomes a little bit shorter. Alright? So, all's that to say, this eyebrow comes over, and just barely past where you finish drawing your eye is where that tail of the eyebrow is going to go. And as I add in a little bit of color, you can see proportionally it's fine. I think the shape is a little bit strange, but we are going to fix that when we're going into the inking phase. Right now we are just trying to get some solid proportions and some solid ideas of where we want all of these specific details to go, so then when we are inking, guess what? It's the easiest job in the world. Okay, so back to this ear. Ears are notoriously hard to draw. Basically, all you have to do is figure out one system that works, one way to draw an ear that works for you, and then that's just the way you draw an ear for the rest of your life. There is no getting out. There is no changing. There is no behavioral shift. You figure out one way that looks half decent, and then you just do that until you stop drawing. And that's fine. That's just something we all sort of deal with and settle with. And it's normal. It's part of growing up. So this is the one that I've settled on. I've been drawing this ear for years. Whoa, Mao, you retracted a message? You're a new chatter and you retracted a message? What's going on here? Your brain unworked? What about inclusive even mean? What was that abomination I just saw in your sketchbook? We don't need to think about it. It's the AI baby. It's from a song, I think, but if you type that into the YouTube, you will see. Mal populaire. I wish I knew what you said. Did anyone in chat see what that chat was? Basically, oh, what's up, Nate boy? We're drawing profile shots today. How you been? Basically, as we're going along, everything that we're drawing is just a foothold to then get to the finished product a little bit easier. Oh, what's up, Galaxy? Oh, Crow, you have such a way with words. All of these things are just slow footholds. So, basically, what we've gotten very solid at is the eye placement looks very normal. The eyebrow placement looks very normal. The lips, fine for now. The chin, great. That whole setup, the lips and chin section is just a little bit forward from that forehead, which I feel like is most often the case with a lot of people, so that looks more realistic than what we used to be drawing, this is sort of my first go at this method, and it feels way too cartoony and way too bulbous. So we're slowly trying to get to a more realistic position with this. And guess what? It was all in the forehead. The forehead, the nose proportion, the lips, and the chin. Shrinking those things up and tilting them just a little bit force the entire shape of the head to change, which is sweet. Nothing, just eating my pie. Oh, yeah. Galaxy, you're cruising through those lollipops. I told Crow that we were talking about how much we missed Crow. Essentially, just shifting some of these angles, like the nose, the crook in the eyebrow, the forehead, just moving those slightly to a more vertical position from this sort of crazy cartoony style, all of a sudden yields a very realistic drawing. So, now, when we're thinking about hairlines, having this ear and having this jaw actually helps draw the hairline way more than you think it does. Basically, what you have to do is right through the middle of the ear, you can draw a rectangle, and that's your sideburn, right? Everyone is familiar with a sideburn. But what this helps with is that sideburn is sort of our root to then draw up and into a hairline. So this is another piece of drawing that like I haven't found a hack for drawing a hairline yet. But having this sideburn as your root really sets up these 2 or 3 lines that you have to draw for a hairline. Depending on your character, some people have like a very smooth hairline or whatever, but having that sideburn gives you the opportunity to get like a pretty solid line. Whenever I'm drawing hair, I always start with this line because then that gives me an opportunity to, draw the hair that has a little bit of volume above the skull that we just drew. It gives me the opportunity to monitor forehead size and like shape of head. Oh, it just went way out of focus. You guys okay? Are you alright? Let's get you back. Come on. Nice. There you go. Don't leave me. Lollipop Factory. Guys, I must remind you that Galaxy is 11 and joining us as a guest. We will be fine. Anyway, about the dead deer, that's why I didn't appear last stream. I love a good dum-dum. Practice? Oh, how to get better at drawing? What's up? What's up, Calcium? Calcium? Yes, it is, like, it's very sad to say, it's just hours on page. And I'll show you. Like, this drawing, a ton of practice here, a ton of practice here. Like, you are going to be drawing very poorly for a long, long time. I draw very poorly still to this day. What's up, Mrs. Hyven? Nowhere near enough likes on this live. I'ma fix it. Oh, thank you so much. You're freaking good. Thank you very much. I'm trying my absolute hardest. These are the first 3 cartoon faces that I felt like I actually nailed it, or that I actually got a great drawing off. Oh, thanks for the repost. But like here's a bunch of bad stuff. Like this is just sort of nonsensical, no practice, no nothing. Here's me trying out a brush pen, like all of these faces. Look at, I'm teaching how to draw profile pictures, but just maybe a couple weeks ago I couldn't do it. Like I tried my absolute hardest to get a profile drawing and I couldn't do it. And now that brings us to today when we're actually slowly getting there. We're just practicing every single day, a couple minutes, and things are working out. Do you do anything besides existing and typing really fast? Make masks, crochet. That's great. That's awesome, Galaxy. I'm so happy to have you in here. Do you do manga? You know, sometimes, never like, I never like sit down and try to draw manga, but sometimes it just happens, and I'm very happy about it. I love the art style of manga. Okay, so we have that forehead, we have that nose. Honestly, I think we're about ready to start. Whoa. We are about ready to start inking and getting things looking a little bit normal, looking a little bit more professional, and looking a little bit more finalized. And, you know, the fun part about inking is it shows you all of your mistakes. If you can't fix the mistakes as you're going through, that's why we have all of these like extra lines, so then we can pick the best one to ink. The ink shows you everything that you've missed. It shows you all of the things that you wished you would have fixed before you went to ink. So it's very fun to start inking and start the process and then realize, hey, I actually messed up that ear. It should have been way far back, so I had to draw another ear, giving this guy 4 ears. I'm actually questioning my existence in the physical plane. Dude, same here, Crow. It's the best way to do it. Have a Coors Light. Think about your existence. How many years have you been drawing? On and off my whole life. But I just started taking it very seriously maybe the last 2 years, the last year and a half. Um, once you're like, once you are really drawing, once you are dedicating 15 plus minutes a day to sketching something out, really thinking about process, really thinking about all of like the fundamentals. Oh, thanks for the follow. Once you're really starting to think about that stuff and drawing with like purpose for 20 minutes, you're gonna see yourself like grow immensely. It is like it is so simple and it is so one for one. The more time you spend drawing, the slowly you just get better. So, you know, looking down the pipeline and saying, oh, it's going to be a year before I'm good at drawing, yeah, that sucks. But guess what? In like a couple of days, you're going to be way better than you were right now. Like, you get that. Coors Light, the beer of questioning your existence. Yeah, that is the perfect description of that beer. Like find stuff to draw and draw it and get better at like drawing basically off mind. Exactly. Like just you can draw from reference, you can trace, you can do whatever it is that makes it fun. Remember, that's like another huge part about drawing is it should be fun. A lot of people like they practice and they just hate it. And I'm sitting there thinking like you don't have to like if you hate it that much, don't practice. But you can find a way to enjoy yourself. You can find a way to make it fun. Um Cherry lollipop, you don't have orange. Oh, I wish I had one. Do you have the different flavors? Yeah, she does. Um, you hate grape? That's incredible. Well, that's insane. I mean, sorry, I burped halfway through and switched words on you. Grape is like top tier. It's got to be one of the best. If not like, dare I say, might be number one. Oh, blue raspberry. Okay, never mind. Grape is too. Um, but yeah, essentially, all you have to do is like slowly but surely like just dedicate 10 minutes. That's all you need. 10 minutes a day. Like that's your goal. And then also, guess what? If one day you're really jiving on it and it's feeling awesome, go for 20. Who cares? It's all practice. It's all like even practicing, you have to practice practicing. Like that's the same one. Skippity Ohio Riz. That is god awful. That is such like that is the worst message of all time. Coming from you, Crow, I could not even believe that. Um, like I kind of learned if I take it slow, I will become better, and also I drew for like 2 hours today. Dude, awesome. That's how it should be. Just whenever you can, just take some time and draw, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, I actually can draw this person from scratch, and like last week I couldn't even draw an apple. It happens quick. Okay, remember what I said about this nose. Right now, the nose looks awesome. Am I going to ruin it? That's very possible. You dislike green apple? Galaxy, you have got to pick some better flavors. I'm sorry. um, I might be ruining this, but I'm going to do a light line on the top here. Remember when we were talking about this one, it's not really the best line work I've ever done. It kind of makes the nose look weird. But if we can do a very light line on this top section, and then maybe another light line instead of these dark lines, we might be able to get this nose to have a great definition without having it look weird. And I think, for right now, I may have made that look okay. Might not be the best, but it's definitely a little bit better than that one. And I think as we get more and more detail, we'll be distracted from that nostril. I just dislike it, okay? Hey, that's fine. It's fine to dislike certain flavors that everyone else loves. But just don't get upset when people say that you're crazy. Okay, so we're getting close. Back up to the eye. we were very comfortable. We were very solid with this eye through and through. So I'm thinking we just ink it and move forward. We don't even really have to think about it. Bingo. So we're going to start with that same angle that connects up to that eyebrow. We'll get that eyelid going down. We'll add in our iris and pupil. Very simple, just a very sort of like a shrunken circle or even a shrunken oval. Like it is very, very thin. Because the eyes turn sideways, so obviously instead of seeing, you know, the iris like that, we're seeing it at that angle, right? So we'll finish up that bottom eyelid, and then we're going to give just a little indication that it has some depth with that second line. We're going to give a little bit of a wrinkle in that top eyelid just for some fun spice. And then with this eyebrow, we're going to start here and get to about that middle section of this entire drawing, not just the pupil, but that entire drawing, and that's going to be our apex. So then we can cut it back down, and if you remember, it goes just a little bit past the end of that eye, because if you look at yourself in the mirror, your eyebrow goes about maybe a finger length past your eye, but when you turn it to the side, that perspective switches, that perspective changes. Stay for a while. Oh, you're gonna stay for a while? I like green apples. Hey, I'm a head out, but I definitely want to come back for another stream. Oh, thank you, Marcus. That's so nice. Join from a repost. Sweet. Thank you very much. Basically, when you switch that perspective, things shrink. So when you have an eyebrow looking straight at you versus sideways, it's obviously going to be a little bit shorter, right? Oh, that's all right, dude. Please, you can go whenever you want to. I'm not holding you hostage. But because of that perspective change, this eyebrow ends exactly where it does, and I'm pretty comfortable with that. So we'll give it just a couple little pieces of detail there underneath it. And as we're looking at this, honestly, like a pretty proportional face. It might be a little bit long, for sure. See you later. Thanks for hanging. It might be just slightly long, but oh my God, what are we talking about? I just heard "Are you racist?" in the chat. I just watched any videos. What? Oh, that's awesome. Don't worry, you're fine, Galaxy. Basically, the face is a little bit long. The nose might be a little bit long, but I really like the lips. I really like the chin. And I think if we just keep cruising through this, slightly changing as we're going to get to a pretty solid finished product. Another thing when you're thinking about drawing ears, right? At the very beginning of this I said basically everyone figures out how to draw one ear and then they stick with it forever. That's true, but also ears start at about the middle of the eye and they go until about the nose. That's like your basic gauge for how big an ear should be is just think middle of eye to end of nose, and you'll usually figure out how to get that ear looking pretty correct. Yeah, Crow, you're one to talk. You are a talking crow. Basically, then once you have that sort of size set up for this ear, we just have to focus on all of those little wrinkles and all of the things that make an ear look pretty realistic. And that sort of boils down into three parts. So you have that top line ridge that is basically where your ear folds over itself, right? Then you have one large line, one large wrinkle that cuts through just about that 3/4 point of that top fold over, and then that just comes in. It shows that little ear canal that you dig all of your earwax out of, and then that little bump that everybody uses to plug their ears. And those are like, that's all you need to draw an ear, and then you can come in here and you just shade this top crease, and then a little bit of this crease, and then maybe a little bit of this hole, and then all of a sudden, bangerade, you have like a half decent ear. What pens? This is going to surprise you. First off, the pens don't matter. Pens or pencils don't matter. But this one is a Faber-Castell. It's basically, this is the same exact pencil as a yellow number 2, but it's green, and that's why I like it. So this is the pencil. It's a number 2 yellow pencil masquerading as something nice. And then this pen is just a precise V5 rolling ball, extra fine. This thing costs maybe 2 cents. It is not a drawing pencil, it is a note-taking pencil. But when I sat down to draw tonight, it was the closest one to my hand. On top of that, I have a brush pen. I don't know what the name is. I got it offline. It's probably right on Amazon for like $1.50 or $2. Again, not super expensive. I just wanted a brush pen, and pens don't matter, so you can spend the least amount of money and get something that works, and then you get to practice with it. And then let's say you become the most famous artist in the world and you need something that has really high quality to it, then you can buy it. But for now, just buy the cheapest one and learn how to use it. Galaxy, you're a furry? That's alright. You're never searching for you again. Galaxy, you're so good at all of the emojis. You use them so perfectly. Yeah, Crow, you never judged anyone. It's fine. You guys are a roller coaster of a chat. Okay, that's the pencil tour. I hope it helped. Basically, back to this, that ear sets up so much for us, because what this ear tells us is where the jawline starts. If you look at yourself in the mirror, the jawline connects directly into that earlobe, right? So we can come in and we can draw just a straight line. This is going to be one of few straight lines in the entire face, and that's the start of our jawline. And then you remember when I was talking about how this chin fades into the neck pretty much immediately? Now we can use this this jawline to show just a slight indication of where the jaw would sit on this character. So we're not going to draw one big thick line. We're just going to draw sort of an idea that there's a jawline there. And when you look at that sort of across the board, your brain fills in the gaps and you understand that there is a little bit of a jawline there. Sometimes if you draw them very messy like this, it can look a little bit like gills, but that's fine. We're just shading. We're not actually drawing lines. There's a difference, and it just takes a little bit of time to understand. From there, too, we can draw a little indication of the muscle structure in the neck. Again, just a very light line. We're not drawing anything super concrete. We are just adding in an idea of, basically, if you look in the mirror, you can see that the neck is made up of a bunch of muscles. We're just going to draw a little bit of that. And then you can refine all of these lines, all of these fixins, and then basically, all we have left to do is a little bit of hair. So if you remember this hairline, we felt pretty good about it. We felt good about those sideburns. So we can just sort of messily put in a little bit of hair texture. This is also a very fun point to just freestyle. A lot of fun hair textures can be made here. We don't always have to do buzz cuts. We don't always have to do slick back. We can do a couple of curls here or there. and really just sort of play with different hairstyles. Hair is definitely a pretty hard thing to learn how to draw. It just takes a little bit of time, it takes some practice. It always sits above and around certain shapes, so that always takes a little bit of time to realize that basically all hair is like Lego hair. It just sits atop the head. Um, but, you know, you'll get there. I have full trust in all of you to slowly figure out how to get a very solid hairstyle in. One thing you'll notice I'm doing is I'm drawing a bunch of very quick parallel lines around to give it that texture. Can you draw a good Johnny Balboa? Is that Johnny the Muscle Johnny? I might be able to. Let me see. And then we're just going to finish the back of the neck however we want to, keeping it messy or clean. And that's basically it. That is how you draw a profile drawing. We can even give him a little collar for a shirt or something. Who cares? And then maybe the start of his shoulders. And that's like, that guy looks pretty proportional. Honestly, like all in all. Sorry, I'm gonna take a bath in your bird bath, Crow. Galaxy, did you just dab an emoji? That is crazy work. That is that is the most insane emoji I've ever seen. A dabbing emoji is sick. Like Rocky the Boxer. Oh, duh. Yeah, I can draw Rocky Balboa. He's right here. I'm kidding. I'm not that petty. Yeah, I'm sure we could. We only have 4 minutes left, though. Johnny Cage. That would be a very fun drawing. Okay, let's look up a quick Johnny Balboa. And how about this? Let's see if we can draw Johnny Balboa in 4 minutes. Because guess what? I don't want to stream for a ton of time, and I'm already at the hour mark. Johnny Balboa. Come on. Come on, baby. Let me see him. Let me see this guy. Oh, yeah. Here's a big Rocky guy. You know what? I'll say it. I don't know if anyone in chat is going to be pretty annoyed by this. The Rocky movies suck. I'm sorry, they do. They're like, everyone always calls them a classic, and that's fine. Like, I get it. I understand you. But he is not, he is not nice to his girlfriend at all. He loses in the end of the movie. It's just like a bunch of half-baked training montages. And then he does the final match and he gets his ass beat. And everyone's like, oh, it's the best fighting movie of all time. You can't even hardly understand him the whole time. And he just forces his girlfriend to love him. That's messed up. Guys, this should not be anyone's favorite movie. What Rocky movie? Galaxy, this is an old boxing movie. And it is, everybody absolutely loves it to death. But, hey, if you take a second watch as an adult, you're gonna see some things. Okay, but we're drawing Rocky very quickly. I'm just sort of cruising through. He has a very skinny face in this movie. So I'm just blocking out some shadows to make him look very cool and dramatic. This whole side of his face is pretty much in shadow. And then it comes down into, I might even shrink up that jawline a little bit. I think he's got sort of a short face. And I don't want to draw him too long. That long body. He also has a pointy chin, so we want to make sure that he has that going for him. He is a ladies' man, after all, so he has to look the part. So we'll draw a bunch of shadow there, a bunch of shadow around the mouth, a bunch of shadow for the lips, right? Are we all seeing the vision here? Basically, I'm laying in all of the shadows first, so then, when we go into inking, I basically have a finished drawing right off the bat. Then, he has his ears right here, which are fine and dandy, that's great. And then he has that sort of like early, what is it, 70s? Mrs. Hypen, can you back me up? That hairstyle that like everyone had. Please try again. I have to verify that I'm still here on TikTok Live. That's crazy mode. He has that sort of like bob that was like every man, woman, and child had this style of hair in like I don't know what the era was. I'm too young. I just remember seeing pictures. So he's got that going for him that also builds the whole lady killer vibe. And we're just going to slowly shade all of that in. Crow and Galaxy know that I'm about to end stream the way that I start talking very fastly and cruising through a drawing. Can next live you draw animals? Oh yeah! I can do that. Or no. Not now, geez, later. Oh yay. Wait, Poochie, and a 1 and a 2 and I come for you. Adrian! Adrian! It's all the same. Ain't you Nathaniel B? Hey, shh. The disguised potato, guess what? I'm coming for ya. But yes, I am. I am Nathaniel B. And I was the kid in that video. Growing up. I grew up that whole time getting bullied for my name. Just from that one video. Psych. Hold on, ain't you Nathaniel B? I loved that video. I absolutely loved that video. It was so funny. And all of his friends just leave him. You have one bad line and your friends just leave you for dead. It's over. Okay, we're getting close to getting this Rocky Balboa drawing done. Bro. That bangs. We're really focusing on minimal detail here. That could be beast. This could be nice. There might be a little bit too much shading going on, which is going to be very upsetting for all of us, but that's okay for now. We'll give a little bit of lip detail in there. Hey, wait. This might work. Okay, we're going to draw his hairline, because that sort of dictates his face just a little bit. And then it comes into here, and then he's got a little bit of a swoop. Not too much, though. I'm, of course, using a reference for this image, just in case, because I can't draw Rocky Balboa from memory just yet. Maybe one day. Oh, he kind of looks like Bruce Lee in this picture by accident. Which is... that's so funny. And then we'll just sort of cross hatch and get some of these shadows in there. They connect up to the nose. And then they curve around the mouth a little bit. And then we have that shading go up his jawline. We'll give him a little bit of a pointier jaw. And then he's got like a little bit of a butt chin action going. Hey, this is kind of turning out a little bit beast. And then he's got some crazy cheekbone action. He's got a little bit of forehead stuff that probably needs Botox. And then it's basically Rocky. I'll just color that guy in. Bang on. This is a very young Rocky Balboa, by the way. And then his neck sort of connects up right there. Bang, right there. And he's massive. So that all connects, and then he's got his collarbones right there. Bangerade. I feel like you really nailed the deadness in Sylvester Stallone's eyes. Thank you very much. 10 out of 10. Like, honestly, for a little quick, what was that? 5-10 minutes? Nailed it for real. Thanks to Sky's Potato. You guys are very, very nice. It turned out a lot better than I expected it would. But maybe next live we give him 30 minutes and we actually draw it correctly. Galaxy, I'm sorry. Guess what? I just said you right when you did. Bruce Lee. Dude, it does. It kind of looks like Bruce. We'll write Bruce or Rock. And that's how we remember. Guys, I'm sorry. Bye, peeps. I'm being consumed by the ether. Dude, so am I. I'm out of here. Galaxy, I'm sorry. Alright, y'all, thanks for watching. I drew for about an hour and a half tonight. And it was sweet. Very happy to do it. This is my setup. I'm Nathan. Thanks for hanging. Okay, now that TikTok's gone, we can really start to party. Kidding. I am Galaxy. You are the most like well-versed and fluent in emoji. Like I don't know how you get them out so fast. Also, you're always on mobile, which is crazy. Oh no, Crow. Wait, but who's gonna watch the stream now, Crow? Sweet dreams. Thanks, Poochie Okay, I'm out of here, everybody. Hopefully see you tomorrow. I'd love to do another hour stream about the same time. We kind of have to get another one for Magnus so he can see. But yeah, we are chilling and we are out of here. Fair point. Bingo. See ya.